from the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com. You're listening to the Bryan and Vinny Show with your hosts, Brian Alvarez and Big Vinny V.
Well, it is the Bryan and Vinny Show here. April 12, 2018, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. Got a lot to get into today. Granny's going to join us. I have no idea what's on her mind. So we'll talk about that very abrupt ending to the music right there. Then it is Thursday night potpourri. Now, normally we review the NXT show, but not a lot happened on this NXT show. Was the debut of War Machine, but I saw that live, basically. They ran in. It is a missable show. So instead, Vinny and I today will review NXT TakeOver and WrestleMania.
Yes.
And in addition to that, we have two more things we're going to review. That being the Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns WrestleMania match.
The Goldberg.
Well, we're going to do that one, obviously, for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
We're comparing that to the Brock Lesnar-Goldberg match from 2004. And then we will compare that to the Brock Lesnar-Goldberg match from 2017.
We are all over the place tonight.
Oh, no. It all ties together. It all ties together. And I won't spoil it, even though I'm spoiling it right now, by saying that my argument with Mike Sempervive was I ever right?
So that's what this is all about.
Was I
Now I
ever
understand.
Right.
You had to prove you were right. Okay.
Well, I didn't need to prove I was right. I knew I was right. I'm proving to everybody else that I was right.
You had to do that.
Yes. I predicted on Wrestling Observer Live. This was a while ago. They did that whole thing where Brock didn't show up and Roman came out and cut the promo. Brock's not here. Blah, 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 blah. Their whole idea was, we're going to get the people to hate Brock Lesnar so much, thinking that he's leaving and he doesn't respect the fans, that Roman Reigns is going to get cheered at WrestleMania. I said, listen, they're going to hate him, they're going to hate Roman, and you're going to get what happened with Lesnar and Goldberg in New York all over again. I was told, no. The crowd will simply be apathetic. I was like, no. They're gonna fucking hate both these guys. That is exactly what happened. But this is not just about me proving that I was right in this argument, because I have more to say about that Goldberg Brock Lesnar match from WrestleMania 2004 that I have to talk about on this show, having watched it a second time. So that's your teaser. We'll get into that after the Granny segment. So stand by and we shall get her here on the show. Well, Granny's here joining us and we are ready to go today. What's happening, Granny?
Well, I can't tell if I have a cold or not. 1 minute my nose is running, next minute it's stopped.
Well, maybe you've got allergies. You ever thought about that?
I think it is. You have them in the morning, don't you?
I haven't had them too bad lately, but for a while there I had them.
Yeah, that's what I have in the morning.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe you could get some allergy medication, Granny. Just don't take too much of it.
Well, I just can't take any more of those nighttime cold tablets because I took one during the day and it knocked me out.
Well, are you still taking them at night?
No.
Okay, good. You were addicted to them for a while.
Well, it didn't turn out too good, but I quit taking them.
I don't want to know anymore.
No, I don't.
What happened?
I don't want you to.
Okay. What, is this when you saw the ghosts?
Don't tell everybody that. They'll think I'm nuts.
Now they know. And Gordy's been seeing ghosts.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Yeah. Have you seen any lately, Granny?
No, my eyes are okay now.
They're all right now?
I had some trouble with my eyes, Vinny.
Yeah. Was that as a result of the...
bad.
Is that as a result of the cold medicine, or was that a separate incident?
That I wasn't taking any cold medicine then. No.
So was it a result of the ghosts?
I can only imagine what the cold medicine was
Did you
doing.
get slimed?
I don't know what brought it on. I might have rubbed my eyes too hard because they were itching, and I rubbed them. And
ghosts appeared?
I might
You have a magic head.
I might have done something to bring it on. I don't know.
Did you open a crypt recently? Or defile a grave?
Whatever.
Okay.
Did they talk to you?
No.
Okay. You just saw them out of the corner of your eye.
Yeah,
You saw shadow people, basically.
that's right. Exactly.
Wow.
Even little kids. But I couldn't tell who they were.
And so they were only in the corners of your eyes. They were not directly in front of you.
No.
Man, oh man. How the hell do you sleep now? You need that cold medicine.
Well, I'm doing okay now.
Sounds great.
Why have you not done a show from her house?
Yeah.
Try to interview the ghost kids.
I was pretty scared for a while. I called Nikki and got her involved in it.
Cool.
And what'd she do when the ghost showed up?
She couldn't do anything about it. She was on her way out to get Tony from the airport.
Yeah. It's more important than you seeing ghosts, I guess.
I guess so.
Huh. Man, this is going to make an awesome Facebook contest if it involves ghosts.
Oh, it will. Well, it
Well,
doesn't.
what is it here today?
We're going to have a contest next week.
A ghost contest?
No.
Oh.
Who can
Well,
provide the breast evidence of ghosts?
The
It's a
breast
mi-
evidence?
I think I said that, but that's not what I
yeah.
meant.
It's a mystery one, though.
Oh, man. Well, what do we have this week?
Well, I just got questions this week, Vinny.
Okay, well, no time like the present then. Paul Sandman Weir. I'm on a roll. Most regrettable haircut, either your own or probably Brian's. Also, don't you think it's rude to wear a hat indoors?
Well, it used to be, but it doesn't seem to be anymore.
It's the most talked about haircut I've ever had. I just want everyone to know that.
It's more a lack of a haircut.
It's far from the worst. I mean, I've had some bad ones. Get out of here, Tony.
the reverse
Have you seen
mullet.
my haircut over the years? Jesus
the reverse
Christ.
mullet you had at one point.
This is low on the scale.
You've had some bad ones.
Yeah. Lance is burying my haircut in the airplane. I mean, you know how long it took to find a picture of his rat tail?
Not long.
Like moments.
Yeah.
And then he's going, Brian's always had bad haircuts. And I showed him his rat tail. And his comeback to me was, that's 8 years versus 40 years. And I'm like, hold on a second. I've had multiple bad haircuts over 40 years. You had a rat tail for 8 fucking years. That trumps all.
Language.
8 years? Dude. Get
Well,
out of town.
Vinny knows when his was, Brian, when you tried to cut it in the...
Yeah, that was his worst haircut.
I had a mullet when I was 15 and I think may have actually been worse.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I honestly blocked this out of my mind that I didn't think I ever had a mullet. People would ask me if I had one. I
Of
said no.
course you did.
I never did. And then I found my 8th grade picture or something, and there's this amazing mullet. It's the mullet that's all poofy on top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Lewis Brown. Hi, Granny. I'm hoping to go to New York next year for WrestleMania 35. Would you consider doing a live episode of this show in the city with Bryan and Vinny? I'm sure it would be the hottest ticket in town.
Really?
In New York City.
Hotter than WrestleMania.
Hotter than Broadway.
Sure, yeah. Hotter than Cats.
Hotter than Cats. Hotter than
The hell they're
Hamilton.
running there nowadays.
The Rangers. The Knicks.
Would you do a Q&A in New York, Granny?
No, I don't think I'd ever make it that far.
Yeah, it's a long trip.
Yeah.
At the airport, Granny, I don't even want to go through it. I'm 30.
We skip all questions and just say, start out with, this is for Brian, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, is it a good one, or is it stupid?
It's not stupid. He just wants to know, with the greatest Rumble ever, can we do the greatest review ever with Brian, Vinny, Granny, Mark, and Tom?
Well, I can tell everybody that Mark will be doing the recap show for the greatest Royal Rumble.
Well, it was a good thing to ask that question.
So yes,
then. Yeah.
you can all look forward to that. I can't promise Granny and Filthy, but
Or Vinny.
you'll be there.
All right, fine. Patrick McGreevy, the F4W Empire.
McGreevy?
That's what it says.
They get weirder every
Don't make
week.
these names up.
It's McGravy.
McGreevy.
I was just kidding.
Okay. The F4W Empire is being turned into a blockbuster Hollywood movie. Don't ask how or why. Which A-list celebrities will be playing Brian, Vinny, and Granny?
God, so
Granny,
many
do you know
options.
any A-list celebrities?
Cary Grant.
Clark Gable?
Yeah.
I can't think of anybody I want.
Who would play Bryan?
Yeah, who's going to play me in this movie, Granny?
Uh,
Get out of here. Danny DeVito.
I can't think of anybody.
Okay. Hey, great question, Vinny. Let's do another one.
Okay.
Hopefully better.
Why are you mad at me?
Because Granny doesn't know anybody current. It was a stupid question to ask.
I'm going to kill this name. Ruadri Campbell Laird. Granny. What the hell is wrong with you
I don't
guys?
know. What's going on?
I'm terrible.
Do you have a stroke?
Good. I'm glad it's you instead of me.
Oh, it's me. I have no excuses. Granny, have you ever had a pint of Guinness? And if not, would you ever try it? And
What is it?
It's an Irish beer. It's a thick, dark Irish beer. It's delicious.
Never heard of it
You never heard of Guinness?
till now.
Well, it's out there. And then he asks if I would appreciate Guinness for the Christmas show. Absolutely. Everyone can send me Guinness. That's wonderful. So I guess the answer to the question is no. And would you ever try it?
No, I couldn't. I can't drink anymore.
No. Well, that settles that. Lewis John.
Can't even drink for the Christmas show next year, Granny?
I shouldn't. You want me to get sick?
Well, no, I'd prefer not.
Okay.
You've been reviewing wrestling for a while now, Granny. So, what are your favorite wrestlers, and do you have a favorite match? Best wishes to all of you. Smiley face.
Well, I do have one complaint. How come they didn't have Gallagher in the WrestleMania?
Please tell me you watched all 7 hours of WrestleMania.
She did.
Hoping, with a Gallagher sign.
Well, she
hoping
didn't have
that
a
the
Gallagher
wimp would show
sign.
up.
Didn't have a Gallagher sign, but...
Yeah, how come he wasn't on?
I don't know. He should have been there. There was no reason for him not to be there. That is too bad.
Buzz Newman. I don't make the names up. I just read them as they show up. Hey, Granny. If you could name a pay-per-view / network event for WWE, what would you name it, and what would the gimmick match type be?
I'm lost. You guys answer that one.
Boy, we're on fire here tonight. One more, baby. One more.
No, is that all?
All right, couple more.
I'm only going to be on for a half hour then.
I think you're always on for a half hour.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay.
How long do you think you're on for? An hour?
I don't know. It seems like 2.
Well, trust me, it's 30 minutes.
I won't say what I was going to say there. Johnny Stewart. Question for Granny, Bryan, and Vinny. If you had to show a friend a wrestling match, which would you show them and why? Thanks.
And what about you, Granny? What match would you show a friend if you had to show him a match?
Between you and somebody.
Oh, yeah? How about me and Vinny in the hair match?
No.
Yeah, that one.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Get out of here.
Terrible choice for any reason.
Yeah, how about the one when we took the bump into the kiddie pool?
That was better.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was better.
It was. That's a
Yeah.
fact.
That was one when I just gave up. Didn't give a shit, and we had a much better match.
Yes.
I learned a valuable lesson that day. Don't try with Vinny.
Yes. Hey, Vinny learned that lesson as well, by the way. It applies to all facets of life. Anthony Lewis. Hi, Granny. Do you recall the first horseless carriage your family bought? Did it come with driving gloves and or goggles?
My gosh, how old does he think I am?
Well, you're 88 years old,
Horseless
Granny.
carriage? That was way back there.
So, I'm just going to assume the answer is yes and no. No gloves or goggles. Which is a shame.
You know what's funny, though?
I'd like some driving gloves.
What do you think about, like,
badass.
when I was a little kid, like, someone who was 88 years old was like, you know, they've been around since Jesus.
Yeah.
But now that I'm halfway to 88, it ain't that long ago. Like, twice as long as I've been alive.
Approximately.
It's not that long ago.
42?
Yeah, she's 88, so it's a little more than
Okay.
half. I'm sorry I'm off by 2 years.
And Brian,
Yes, Granny.
my 93-year-old sister still talks and acts like she's going to be living a long time.
She probably will, Granny. Things have changed.
Yep, every day she emails me and tells me she's planning on being around a while.
Every day she emails you to say, hey, I'm not dying anytime soon.
Well, part of it.
Oh, that's a hell of an email. I'm going to start doing that.
Part of it.
Oh, Jeremy Plotkin. I was at a minor league baseball game last night, and they played Roll Out the Barrel. It reminded me of you.
They have to be listeners. No one else would ever play that for any reason.
Maybe in Milwaukee. It doesn't say where he's
Maybe.
from, but there's a lot of beer there.
There's beer everywhere.
There's a lot of beer in Milwaukee.
I didn't hear Roll Out the Barrel once in New Orleans.
There's a lot of polka in Milwaukee.
That's what I like, the polka. I turn it on my computer and have it on for hours. Plays different songs all the time.
You know, there's a holiday music channel on the TV music channels, and every Oktoberfest, it's polka music 24/7.
Oh, my God.
Yep. I try to dance to it, but I don't get very far.
You know, Granny,
Just got to keep practicing.
we're doing video on the site now.
Yeah.
If you like to show people your skills.
You should see the new dance that Paisley does. She watches her Mickey Mouse, and there's a Pirate Goofy episode. And so I don't know what he does, but she has this dance now where like she tucks her hands in close and then she just like tiptoes in a circle. Mm-hmm. Sounds kind of like your polka, Granny.
Yeah. I'm a teacher to tap dance like I did.
Oh, really? She'll be really popular. 2 more.
Gene Selassie, do you, like the rest of the viewers, find 205 Live more enjoyable now that they've gotten rid of the goofy crap?
I didn't notice any difference.
You haven't noticed any difference in 205 Live?
Nope.
Wow. Maybe it's not as good as I thought it was.
Well, last one. Andrew Williams wants to say, you should do a story with Bryan versus Dean Ambrose because Bryan talks crap about Dean whenever you're not around.
Oh, that's another one. What happened with Dean?
Of all the guys, he chose Dean Ambrose and not Dolph Ziggler, the bane of my existence. He's hurt, Granny.
Oh.
But then he got randomly pulled from all of his appearances for some reason. We don't know why.
Okay. I don't know if you're going to like this or not, but I want to talk about WrestleMania.
Well, that's what we're here for. It's WrestleMania week.
Now, I listened to that, but I didn't see any ladder match.
That's because it was on the NXT show the night before.
Oh, okay. I was wondering about that. And I also missed Brock and Roman Reigns because I got a phone call. And so I didn't get to watch that, but I know Brock won it again.
He did.
You owe somebody a favor for calling you during that match.
Yeah.
Really? I'm not too fond of Brock anyway. Okay. The first match was a free-for-all for the guys. And let's see. The Hardy. I forgot who even won that one.
It was the Hardy.
We're off to a great
I know
start.
the Hardys were there.
The Hardy won.
Oh, okay. That's what I had then. Okay.
Yeah. And only one was in it.
Okay.
You know what's funny? He would actually refer to himself as the Hardy.
Yes.
That's something he would say.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, as I said before, they had plans for Alexander.
I know. You had said that.
Yeah. And
Granny knew this was coming months ago.
he beat Allie, and I gave that a match of 5.
Allie.
A 5.
Wasn't it Allie?
Yes. Mustafa Ali.
Ollie.
Yes. Ali.
Okay.
What'd you give the free for all with the guys?
2.
Oh, wow.
I don't like those kind.
Well, they are kind of lame.
Okay. Okay, then they had the women's elimination,
Yes.
and at the very end, Bailey thought she won, but she didn't. Naomi won it.
That is the story of Bailey's whole career, really.
It really is. It really is.
I gave that a 3.
Ooh, slightly better than the men.
And then I forgot what happened with Rollins and Miz.
It was Rollins and Miz and who was
I
the
know.
other guy?
Finn Balor.
That's right, Finn Balor. 3-way.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Okay, and then there was Asuka versus Charlotte,
Yes, there was.
and Asuka lost.
She did.
I gave that one a 5.
Ooh.
Wait, so did she not watch the Seth match?
Oh, she doesn't know what happened.
I see.
She must not have written it down.
Okay.
What?
Yeah. You didn't write down the finish. The Seth Rollins match, Seth won.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did it finish?
Seth won.
I didn't write down any finishes or any moves except for my favorite, Triple H and Stephanie and was it Rhonda
Yep.
and Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Wow, that was my favorite because I wanted to see Stephanie get beat up.
Well, it was your lucky day.
Yeah. Anyway, and then what I noticed that nobody else probably did was that Rhonda had on shorts, and she kept pulling them down, and it just got kind of crazy after a while.
Got a little distracting.
They kept, because they kept climbing up on her, and she kept pulling them down, and then the part where her and Triple H were at it, boy, that was something.
It was something else.
Yeah.
Best match on the show, right, Granny?
I like that one, and I gave that an 8.
Yeah.
Can you believe that was the best match at WrestleMania?
Now it's a fact.
Yeah.
Well, and they didn't have the long ones like before. They always had those big fence ones, and they had lasted so long.
Yes.
I did see someone put up like 7 of the last 8 WrestleManias. Hunter has had the longest match.
Yeah.
It's amazing how that works.
Yeah.
Well, but none of them were really too long. So
Yeah.
okay, then it was Undertaker versus Cena, and it didn't take Undertaker very long to beat the heck out of him.
No, that's true.
I like that, so I give it a 7.
Wow.
7 for getting good and over with.
Yeah, 7. Everybody that hated that match, you don't know the audience. Granny gave that a 7.
And then there was Styles and Nakamura.
Yep.
And Nakamura got beat. I gave that a 4.
Yeah.
And then then there was Bliss. Is it Bliss or Bless?
Bliss.
Bliss and Jax.
Yes.
I was rooting for Jax to just beat the heck out of that gal for some reason. I just didn't like Bliss for some reason. But I gave that one a 6.
6. She beat the heck out of her, didn't she?
Yeah. And then there was the guy that came back from being sick so long,
Daniel Bryan, yeah.
Was he the one wrestling with Shane?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought I got that mixed up. Okay, that was a good match, too. I kind of like Shane. I gave that a 7.
Hey.
What?
You gave it a 7, huh?
Everyone's got their fans.
Everyone has their fans. That's right. What do I know? What does anybody know?
Yeah, okay, so that's that for that. And then there's NXT. Asuka versus Sonya.
Asuka versus Sonya on NXT?
Yeah, I thought that's what it was. Hair pulling, punching, and...
Sounds like Asuka versus Sonya.
Huh, is right.
Anyway, Asuka won whatever match that was.
Okay.
Jumping off top of the rope or whatever. And then 205 was...
That was NXT. Sorry, Granny, go ahead.
Gulak versus Andrews. And Andrews did a sleeper on Gulak. 2 count.
You should call his finish the Gulak.
And okay, so Gulak knocked Andrews on the apron, and he falls on the post and hurts his neck. And Gulak stomps on Andrews' backlash, and Andrews. I didn't rewrite it, so this is dumb. Okay, Gulak stomps on Andrews and back buckles on Andrews, sub hold on Andrews by Andrews. Okay, anyway.
He put a move on himself?
Andrew, anyway.
Please tell me you actually wrote down anyway.
Andrews won it, I think.
Okay.
She thinks.
And then,
All that and you don't even know who won?
And then Gulak just leaves. I don't know what I did with that dumb thing. I gave that a 7.
Must have been good.
Wow. It was so good she lost
She's
her mind.
not rating her own review. She's rating the match.
And somewhere in there, Buddy Murphy came in and beat up on somebody, and I kind of got lost there.
Damn Buddy Murphy's fault.
Dude.
What was that on? Where was that on?
Hell if I know. It sounds like 205 Live.
I thought it was on Gulak's match.
Could have been, yeah.
Okay, now...
Oh, there's more.
There's more.
It's my story.
Yeah, Vinny.
Yeah.
I have my story, and then next week we're going to have a contest. They're going to guess who the mystery guest is on here. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, there's a mystery guest.
Yeah, okay. This starts out with Vinny and Bryan versus Craig and Mystery Man.
Oh, so we have to find out who the mystery man is next week.
Yeah. So Craig
I
decided...
already know, but go ahead.
Dang it, why did I tell you?
You didn't tell me.
I did too.
No, you
I
didn't.
remember. Okay.
I just have a feeling I know who it is, but go ahead.
Okay. Okay, anyway, Craig decided he wanted to have doubles match with Bryan and Vinny. He got to pick his partner. It could be an Empire member or not. His opponent has long hair and a beard and wearing a Lone Ranger mask.
Dave.
Craig and Bryan got in the ring first.
No beard.
You grow a beard.
I got in the ring with Craig first?
Yeah, was
Not a
like
very realistic review here.
was like Undertaker and Cena, if you know what I mean. Bryan
I just beat the hell out of him for 5 minutes and beat him?
He beat you.
Oh, get out of here.
Bryan did some gymnastic moves, knocked Craig down, got up on the rope, did a somersault on Craig. Craig got
Sure
up.
sounds like I'm kicking his ass right here.
Craig got up, picked Bryan up, put him on his shoulder and spun him around and dropped him on his back for a 2 count.
Kicked out.
Yeah. Craig gave Bryan a bear hug, knocked the wind out of him. Bryan kicks the legs out from under Craig and gives him a scissor grip.
A scissor grip.
Wow.
Craig punches Bryan in the face, then goes over and tags Mystery Man. Bryan tags Vinny,
The hell he does.
and Mystery Man face each other. Mystery Man does some mystery moves on Vinny, confusing him.
Most of my matches had a mystery move.
Mystery Man takes advantage, tries to hammerlock on Vinny, and Vinny turns around and gives Mystery Man a knock him to the mat, and punches Mystery Man in the face.
Yeah.
And
Take that.
and for a few times. Mystery Man does a colossal clutch on Vinny.
Oh, what
in
now?
Oh, wow.
a colossal clutch on Vinny.
Okay.
In the meantime, Bryan and Craig are glaring at each other.
I'm not saving you. I'm just glaring
No.
at Craig. You handle that colossal
You
clutch.
just leave me clutched.
Can I finish?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. They stare at each other across. All of a sudden, Bryan jumped in the ring, ran over, punched Craig in the face, knocked him off the apron. Then it became a free-for-all. 4 in the ring. Mystery Man does more mystery moves, slowing things down a little. So he grabs Bryan, turns him upside down in the corner, and kicks him in the gut.
My own partner?
Oh, mystery man.
Oh,
Mystery Man.
that's right. That's right. I forgot we were partners.
Craig has Vinny in a vice grip.
He's a carpenter. It could be an actual vice.
Yeah.
Submission hold. Vinny tries to hang on, but Craig gives more grip, so Vinny gives up, and Craig and
Clearly
the
a
Mystery
work.
Man win.
Dang it. Why do I lose every time? Come on, Granny.
I'll let you win next time.
I deserve some respect here. So the contest is who's the mystery man?
Who is the mystery
Yeah.
man who did the mystery moves to confuse me?
Yeah.
Well, we could do both.
What the mystery moves are?
Yeah.
Let's stick with the mystery man.
Yeah. Well, just next.
Although
week
mystery moves actually would be pretty funny. I'm not sure anyone could top the colossal clutch or the
Well, I'll tell you what.
power knuckle hold.
I looked it up.
He did.
Yeah.
I think there was a time Big Show was using a camel clutch, and he called it that.
Wow.
Yeah.
About that. All right. Well, I guess you'll explain the contest to everybody next week, Granny.
Yeah, I sure will.
All right. Anything else on your mind?
Nope.
Excellent.
Well, bye.
All righty then.
I say one thing. At least I sleep pretty good on Thursday night because by the time I get through here,
You're
I'm
exhausted.
done.
Yeah, this is your exercise for the week. We should call you more often.
When I had the power problems, I was almost afraid that the little gadget that I'll have to work with was out, but it's okay.
You mean the one that's battery powered that's around your neck?
No, the one where we talk through.
Oh, yeah. It wouldn't have worked if the power was out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was okay.
All right. Well, hey, text me if you see any more ghosts. I want to keep updated on this story.
I don't want to see any more.
Okay. Well, you haven't seen them for a while, right?
No.
And they've probably moved on, it sounds like.
It's been okay for 4 or 5 days now.
All righty.
So, that's it.
All right, Granny. Sounds great.
Okay.
All right. We'll talk to you. We'll talk to you
Next.
after a while here.
All righty.
next week.
Bye-bye, everybody.
All right.
I want to say a hi to Michael. He lost his grandma, so...
Oh, that is very sad.
Hang in there, Michael.
That's right. Hang in there.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Granny.
Okay.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Well, there you go, everybody. That's Granny. Another fun and exciting night of action with her. And now it is time for NXT TakeOver and WrestleMania and Brock versus Goldberg and Brock versus Goldberg.
Well,
I have very few notes, so
we better get going.
you better get going.
NXT TakeOver New Orleans, April 7th, 2018. When I watched the show after the fact. I managed to avoid almost all spoilers, but I was watching this late Saturday night. And when I loaded up the network and the thing comes up, and I saw it was 3 hours, and now even TakeOver's getting too long and bloated, I was very upset. This is going to be stretched too thin and not be any good. Boy, was I wrong.
What an idiot.
I was an idiot, actually. I deserve scorn. It opened with a ladder match for the inaugural North American Championship. EC3 versus Adam Cole versus Killian Dane versus Lars Sullivan versus Velveteen Dream versus Ricochet.
Yep.
This match fucking ruled.
Sure did.
This may have been the best ladder match I ever saw.
It was the best ladder match I ever saw. I said that immediately after the show was over.
Uh-huh.
And I should note, by the way, before we begin here, that the new Observer is out. And in fact, the ladder match and the Johnny Gargano-Tommaso Ciampa match both received 5-star ratings.
Yes.
This is the first WWE show in history to have 2 5-star ratings on the show. This probably is the greatest WWE show there's ever been.
I think that's pretty easy to say.
Johnny Gargano, he of course, I guess it's not 2 in a row, but it's 2 takeovers in a row. I believe that he is the first wrestler, in fact I know, he's the first wrestler in the history of WWE, WWF, WWF, going back to 1963, who has ever got successive 5-star ratings on 2 shows. I can only find, I think, 2 other guys in WWE history that have ever gotten 5 stars twice. One being Bret Hart. He had the match with Owen, and he had the I Quit match. And Shawn Michaels had the Razor Ramon ladder match, and I believe Dave gave Hell in a Cell 5 stars.
Yeah, that fit.
I gave it 4 3/4 at the time.
You fool.
I was an idiot. I mean, in hindsight, I retract that rating. I bump it up to the full 5.
Yeah.
But there aren't a lot of guys in the history of WWE that have gotten 5 stars. Like, unless I missed something, and I don't think I did, I don't think Dave ever gave Chris Benoit a 5-star rating. I don't think he ever gave Kurt Angle a 5-star rating.
Not in WWE.
No, and I don't even think he gave him in TNA.
Well, I was thinking Benoit, the Japanese stuff.
Well, yeah, but I don't. Maybe let me think about this. Maybe, but I don't think so.
I thought he did in the Super Juniors.
Maybe.
I could well be wrong.
But anyway, Johnny Gargano is literally one of the greatest wrestlers in the history of WWE.
And it's been 4 months in 2018.
Yeah.
So
2 in 1 year.
Yeah. Not 2 in 1 year, 2 in 2 or 3 months, whatever it's been.
Yeah. And listen, think about this. This is no disrespect to Tommaso Ciampa or Andrade Cien Almas, but I mean, he wasn't in there with Bret Hart or Shawn Michaels. I don't think either of those guys would say, you know, I'm on the level of Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Okada. I don't think they'd say that.
I can see a gap between the first group and
Maybe
the
it's
second.
like a minor gap, but I mean,
It's a gap.
Tommaso Ciampa I don't think has ever come near 5. I don't think Andrade Cien Almas has ever come near 5. So the point of this is Johnny Gargano may, in fact, he probably will, become the first guy in the history of this company to have 3 5-star matches.
Just calling another one in the future?
Would that be foolish?
Well, no. At some point now it's expected he'll do a 5-star match. Well, this here ladder match, Ricochet debuted. Almost literally the very first thing he did in a WWE match was to do a crazy flip onto a bunch of people.
A springboard shooting star press to the floor.
Somewhere in this mess, we also had Killian Dane doing a tope on a Lars Sullivan, which is basically the equivalent of Rodan diving onto Godzilla. We had 5 dudes in the ring, and Lars throwing a ladder at all of them. We had... I mean, we could go through and do all the crazy shit in here. It's been 5 days, I think, since I watched this. And I could just read my notes verbatim. Let me talk about what I remember and why this was so great beyond just a bunch of dudes doing a bunch of crazy shit. Because we've seen that before, and it's not as great as this. You had stories going on in this match. You had Ricochet, of course, making his debut and basically being all of the Avengers rolled up into one and doing crazy, insane shit no one watching the show has ever seen before. You had Lars and Sullivan having their personal rivalry. While there was 6 men fighting in this match, it kept coming down to these two monsters wanting to see who the real monster was, and they kept doing crazy nutso shit to each other. You had Adam Cole and EC3 being pricks, and occasionally working together, but then inevitably being too big a prick to stand each other.
Dude, the story of this match was EC3 getting killed to death.
EC3
in
took a
every
savage beating.
single thing that he did.
We know
he was slammed on things. He was slammed under things. He was slammed on top of things. Things fell on him.
This all happened. Yes.
That was the entire
men fell on him. Men
roll
fell through
of
him.
Yes,
he went flying. Yes. If nothing else, we now know EC3 is an immortal, so that's good. Velveteen Dream, the gimmick-wise, maybe the biggest ego in the entire promotion, wants nothing more than to everyone think he's great, so he's busting out all his cool moves, and then when he busted out the super tall ladder for the elbow smash, and he is standing on the top of this ladder, it's literally twice the distance from the mat to the top of this ladder than the mat to the top turnbuckle. He's looking down at the belt that is hanging above the ring, and he jumps off with this killer top rope elbow. It was insane. You got the spot where Ethan's stretched out on a ladder over the ringside area, and Lars slammed somebody through him in the ladder, and they all died. And then, of course, Killian Dane had to follow that up and prove he could do it too. So he takes the other 2 dudes, he sets up a ladder, he slams one through the other through the ladder. All 6 guys are down. Did I mention Ricochet doing insane cool shit like flipping off a ladder that was already falling over onto a crowd of people on the floor?
Oh yeah, they tipped the ladder over, and instead of falling to the ground, he did a moonsault off and smashed into everybody. That was awesome.
Yes. We had, as noted, Ethan falling onto ladders, and then ladders falling onto Ethan. I'm going to call him Ethan for a long time, folks. I know he's EC3 now, but bear with me.
Yeah, they've never given him an actual name.
It's just EC3. There's the ladder bridge spot. There's a Michinoku driver through the ladder, technically. All 6 dudes climbed ladders at once, and they all started to fall off. Lars hit Killian with a freak accident off the ladder. Somehow the ring did not break. And I'm trying to get to the finish here. There's a lot of cool shit.
Well, as you're finding it, I will note that everybody was into everybody. Like, the fans were into everybody. And actually, the biggest pop of the night was Adam Cole hitting a series of super kicks.
Yes.
In a ladder match.
Yeah.
I bring this up every time. This guy never does anything crazy.
No.
Like, anytime he was going to fall off the ladder, he went up 3 steps and then fell down from there.
Yeah.
He never went high. He never did anything crazy. He does a series of super kicks, and then he does his Adam Cole baby, and everybody just goes nuts.
Yep.
Of all the things in this match, this guy is so smart.
Mm-hmm. So the finish...
and my Lars Sullivan point was, he was the one guy where every time everyone was down and he went to climb, he was roundly booed out of the building. Like, I think they would have accepted most people winning here. I think they would have been unhappy about, like, EC3. I think they probably would have accepted Killian Dane. For sure Ricochet, for sure Cole, for sure Velveteen Dream, since everybody loves him. But man, Lars Sullivan teasing that he was going to win, they were not down with that. I was like, why? This man's awesome.
Did we mention when Killian did a dive and Lars caught him?
Oh, yeah.
He is a freak. So the finish is Ricochet in his debut match is going up top. He's alone in the ring. He's got a chance to get up this ladder and win this belt, be the first champion. And Cole tips the ladder over. And Ricochet took a bump, gut first onto the ropes, and then tumbling to the apron of the floor. If anyone else in this company tried this, there would have been at least one fatality, maybe more. He pulled it off easy. And then Cole scampered up the ladder to win. It went 30-plus minutes. And usually, in a match that goes that long, you're going to find dead spots or something that can be cut out or something unnecessary. No, this match warranted all 30 of those minutes.
31 minutes and 24 seconds. Adam Cole even climbing the ladder to get that belt. He did not want to be that high.
Well,
but he had to get up there and do it.
He's short, so he had to climb to the very top of that ladder.
It was very, very high.
Very gingerly get that down. God, that was awesome.
5 stars, baby.
And probably not the best match on the show. So, we had the Brock Lesnar Roman Reigns video package, which I watched this before Mania. It was just Brock murdering Roman over and over and over again. And I thought, that's odd. And boy, is it even odder now.
Well, that's because when they made that video package, the other guy was winning.
Yeah. Ember Moon versus Shayna Baszler.
Let me begin this.
All right.
I said at the last TakeOver that Shayna Baszler should have beaten Ember Moon. And she beat her up and beat her up and beat her up and beat her up and beat her up, and Ember Moon flash pinned her. I thought it was stupid. Thought it took the heat off Shayna Baszler. Thought it made Ember Moon look like a weak champion. So, when they announced they were going to do this match here on the show, I thought, okay, let's do it right this time. Now, what they did right was Shayna Baszler won. However, I didn't think this was a bad match, but they just fucked it all up. Shayna just sold and 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 sold. Finally chokes her out. And it wasn't bad. In a vacuum, it was actually pretty good. But when this match was over, all I could think was, before the last TakeOver, Shayna was very special. She was unlike anybody else on the roster. She was totally different. She was a shooter in there, killing these women. And then they turned her into just another woman. And boy, after this match, she's just another woman on the roster. I thought this was just especially if Ember's going up to the main roster, right? They're not doing a rematch. She's already been called up. Shayna should have got in there and slaughtered her and become the new champion. I did not like how they put this match together.
So Ember's entrance was her music played by Lizzie Hale of Hailstorm, so this is already awesome. And investigating this, I learned Lizzie Hale and I have the same birthday.
Wow.
When I turned 8, the Lord gifted me Lizzie Hale, and I got to enjoy her 30 years later. Mm-hmm. So I thought this match was really good. I was not nearly as down on it as you were, and that's rare for us.
I wasn't down on the match. I just didn't like how Shayna's just like everybody else now. There's no magic to her anymore.
If you say so.
She sold her ass off for Ember the entire time.
Well, I know you'd want her to win squashes every day for years.
Not even squashes, but she didn't even take 50%. Yeah. Ember took 80% of this match and then did the job. It was exactly the opposite of the way they did it last time.
That's how they usually do things, yeah. My biggest complaint about this match, and it's a funny complaint because it's something they did so well. The first thing they did, the bell rings and Ember charges and does some kicks, and then Shayna drops her with the best work punch I ever saw. It looked like she killed her.
Oh my God, but the spot itself, listen, I'm not the biggest Ember fan, I'm not going to lie, but that first spot made her look like such a geek.
Oh no.
She ran across the ring to do some high spot, and Shayna just stepped out of the way and punched her in the face.
Okay, I'm reading this now. Ember missed a dropkick, and Shayna hit one punch and knocked her out. You're
right. Yes, she looked like a complete geek.
Well.
And then this geek destroyed Shayna for 20 minutes.
Could have done better with Ember, that's for sure.
Well, 10 minutes.
So we had Ember did the arm breaking spot that Shayna's been doing. And so it's not so much an arm breaker spot as an arm dislocator, which Shayna solved by ramming her own shoulder into the post to pop it back into place.
And that one too, by the way.
So well for a while.
Can you imagine without commentators?
I'm sure it left a lot of WWE fans in the building confused.
I knew what was going on. Mm-hmm. But in my section, people are laughing. Yes. And they're going, what is she doing?
What did they think when Ember took her down with a log roll?
Oh my God, I had flashbacks to Warrior Hogan.
Yes. So, I had a love-hate relationship with this crowd. By the end, I loved them, but there was something... Really, it was one thing I hated that they did several times. When there would be a double count-out, and the ref was counting 1, 2, 3, and the fans would chant 10.
Oh, 10 I hate that.
It kills the drama because it confuses the ref and the wrestlers and the announcers and the viewers. So you never know if they're actually close to a double countout or not. Don't do that, people, please.
No, because the wrestlers on the outside, maybe they can hear the referee if he's counting really loud. But if they're confused, they just have to get in early and kill the drama.
Yeah. So, finish was Ember runs wild. She goes to the Eclipse, but Shayna catches her on the way down and hooks the choke. And I'm assuming this part was not obvious in the building, but Shayna has her right arm around Ember's throat. Her left arm is the one that's been hurt all the match, so she can't grab with it. So Shayna senses in the choke by grabbing her own hair and pulling.
Yes, that was evident to the crowd.
Yes. So Ember fought, and briefly stacked her up for a pinfall, but then blacked out, and that was it. And there was no way they were following the opener, but it was a very good match. Shayna is ridiculously good for her experience level and has more star power than, well, any female on the roster for sure. So I thought this was a win.
Listen, I'll say it again. I didn't think it was a bad match. I'd probably give it 2 3/4 stars.
What?
I didn't like the way they
Wow.
put the match together. I thought it hurt Shayna. And I don't think you need to hurt Shayna when Ember's moving up to the main roster.
thought it was
That's
3.5.
all I'm saying. I wouldn't go that far.
We had an uncomfortably extreme close-up of Paige introducing a clip from her movie, or the movie about her, and it's just The Rock cutting a promo. It was a great clip.
Dude, it was a great clip until I'd seen it 45 times over WrestleMania weekend.
There is that. So Cole, your new North American champion, is in the medical room. He's telling Kyle O'Reilly he doesn't know if he'll be able to fight in the tag match later. Mauro Ranallo, wearing the ugliest suit of 2018, a purple plaid suit. Then it was time for the Dusty Rhodes Classic Finals and a Tag Team Championship match. The Authors of Pain versus Roderick Strong and Pete Dunne versus the Undisputed Era. Okay, the action here was really, really, really good. The story was weird, and the finish made 0 sense. So,
Well, it was explained. Well, go ahead and we'll explain the finish.
so Cole immediately gets taken out. The Authors of Pain put him through a table. He literally never returned until the match was over. He was done. So now that leaves O'Reilly fighting alone, which, like, by default makes you want to cheer for him and makes him a babyface. You had the Authors of Pain being big and scary, and you had Strong and Dunn doing cool shit together. Also, instead of having 2 guys in the ring and tagging in and out, there was 1 guy in from each team. So it was very clunky. And again, now O'Reilly's not just alone in the ring, but he's alone against 2 guys all the time. So he came off like a total babyface. Even before the match, Dustin Rhodes was there crying over the tribute videos to his dad. So do the match, and everything's running wild, and Strong and Dunn are making their big comeback. And they fight off the other 3 combatants, and finally they hit their finisher on O'Reilly, and Strong kicks one of the Authors off the apron, and Dunn makes a cover, and then out of nowhere, Strong turns on Dunn, stomps him on the back of the head, turns him over, puts O'Reilly on top, and the Undisputed Era win. Now, it would be one thing if you could go back and watch and realize that, like, Strong and O'Reilly had been secretly not attacking each other throughout, but Strong was beating O'Reilly's ass throughout this. A few seconds before the finish, Strong dropped O'Reilly on the apron, which, as you know, Brian, is the hardest part of the ring.
That's what they say.
Yeah. So it made no sense. He decided he did not want to be the tag team champion or the Dusty Rhodes Classic winner. He'd rather hang out with his buddies from Ring of Honor.
No. You're wrong. He's one half of the tag team champions.
Is that how they're doing it now? He's
Yeah.
taking Fish's place?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
That makes more sense.
Like, I mean, they had to do it because Fish was out.
Okay.
So, I mean, the way that he explained it, I guess, in a video was, he figured Pete's going to turn on him. May as well turn on him first.
Okay.
These are his old buddies.
Yeah.
He's now one half of the tag team champions.
Okay.
Everything worked out. The one thing I remember about this match watching it live was, I don't know what it was. It was not even like the Ember match. That didn't have a ton of heat either. It was like everybody was tired after the ladder match, and it took them a while to get back into the show. And they were DEAD dead for this match. Just a dead quiet crowd. The match was good, but nobody was into the match. And then Roderick Strong turned on Pete Dunne and gave him his whatever they call it. And dude, this place went crazy. Like, people stood up and they just started screaming at the top. It was the craziest thing I ever saw. They were so happy to see Roderick Strong join his former Ring of Honor buddies to make this stable. It was an awesome finish, I thought. I loved it. But you know what's weird? Somebody the next day asked me who won the Dusty. It's got like a text message. And all of a sudden it struck me, this match was the tournament finals.
Yeah.
Like, they played up the tag team titles so big, and the turn and everything like that, like, I didn't even really think about the finals of the tournament.
They did nothing for the tournament on the show. There is a picture out there from backstage,
later.
Dustin posing with Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly technically won the 3rd annual Dusty Rhodes Classic.
But it was just weird because like,
it was an afterthought.
Yeah, it was an afterthought here on this show, which is too bad.
Let's be honest, this tournament as a whole was no good.
You know what's also interesting is when Adam Cole first came in, like his first ever big match he lost.
Yeah.
And then he lost another one. and he's just like a jobber. And I'm like, what the fuck are they doing with Adam Cole?
I remember
now
this.
Here he is. He's the North American champion.
Yes.
He's one half of the tag team champions, and he's a Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic winner.
It took one show for them to redo the whole year.
Yes.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it.
And he's so fucking good.
Well, that helps.
That it didn't,
That certainly helps. Andrade Almas versus Aleister Black for the NXT Championship. This may have also been better than anything at WrestleMania, although it's close. It was the third best match on this show.
You know what, though? And I know people will say Bryan doesn't like Ember. That's why he was critical of that match. Listen, I love Aleister Black. I love Andrade Cien Almas. I had the same problem with this match as the other match. Like, every single time Aleister started something, he would get cut off. Over and over again. He sold for literally 90% of this match. He's just selling. He can't get anything going. He gets cut off. He's selling. He can't get anything going. And then finally at the end he wins. And this is what I thought about this.
Aleister wins.
Aleister wins.
Yeah.
So, Andrade Cien Almas, before the final spot, I was like, this guy is a fucking great champion. He had the awesome match with Gargano. They'd pushed him very strong with Zelina. He was looking so awesome in this match. All I could think was, I don't want this guy to lose a title now. He's too good. And then, lo and behold, he dominates the match. He looks outstanding, and then the other guy wins. And listen, Aleister Black is great. He's going to be a good champion. But here's my conclusion. Almas has to be drafted.
See, that's
the only explanation for this.
It felt the timing on this was wrong.
Yeah.
Almas should not have lost the title. Black should not have lost at all.
No.
This is the wrong time to do this match. They booked themselves into a corner.
Yes.
And I assume, like you, I was going to ask you if he showed up on SmackDown yet.
He has not.
But they are doing the shake-up next week.
But the shake-up is going to include NXT guys. Mm-hmm. And I would very strongly bet that he is moving up, hopefully with Zelina. And I also think that the reason that, Charlotte beat Asuka and then lost the title to Carmella.
Yes.
Charlotte's getting drafted.
You would think.
So she'll be on the same brand as Ronda.
Aha.
So I believe that's why they did all of this stuff. I think a lot of this stuff that doesn't really make a lot of sense now is going to make sense after the shakeup.
I see.
But I mean, this was a good match.
It was a great match.
But it was a match where it's one of those matches where when it's over, it felt like the wrong guy won.
Yeah.
I'm not saying the match was bad. It just felt like this was a total showcase for Almas, and then they put the other guy over.
I see. Yeah. It was a hell of a match. The best part, there's a strike exchanges are very popular in pro wrestling these days around the world. And it's either two American guys like Cena and Roman, and they're just trading these big haymaker punches and the crowd goes boo or yay. Or it's in New Japan where guys just take turns elbowing each other in the head. The strike exchange they did here with Almas and Black, it looked like two high-level kickboxers trading blows, trying to not just outdo each other, but to stay one step ahead of each other. And every strike looked killer. Every strike looked awesome. It was great. My nitpick with this match is they're doing the whole thing. Zelina will interfere repeatedly, and then her interference will screw up at the end and cost Almas the title. That's fine. They overdid her interference throughout.
See, now we disagree.
All right.
Because I thought the finish was so awesome. Because Zelina interferes, and she interferes, and she interferes, and she interferes. If this were the Attitude Era, Aleister Black would have spin kicked her in the head. The place would have gone absolutely nuts. That would be the end of that. But it's the PG era. It's 2018. This dude can't super kick this woman.
No.
So, after interfering and interfering and interfering and interfering, she finally goes to interfere one more time. She tries to dive onto Aleister Black. He moves. Almas catches her. His hands are busy because he's caught Zelina.
Yeah, he can't defend himself.
And fucking Black kicks this guy right in the face. I was like, whatever you want to say about Hunter, like when he's wrestling years ago, he is so smart as a booker. This fucking finish was perfect.
No, I agree.
They found a perfect way to have her get hers in the end.
Yes.
Without anybody having to lay one hand on her.
Right.
It was fucking perfect, the finish of this match.
No, the finish was great. It's the overdoing of her interference up
But
to
that was
point.
the point to get to that.
I think they made their point and it was overkill.
I disagree.
This is a very, very good match. It would have been the best match on a lot of TakeOver shows. It was the third best match on this show. Triple H, filling in for a sick William Regal, had Johnny Gargano sign a hold harmless agreement. And they outright said, this is so Johnny won't sue us for whatever Tommaso Ciampa does to him. Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Not bad.
It was, no, you're right. It was better than average.
You know what's funny about the match, though, is it was so like a Japanese match where, I don't know, this match went 37 minutes.
Yes.
Okay? And it's one of those matches very much like some of those Okada Omega matches where that was 37 fucking minutes. It felt like
Flew by.
Maybe 25.
Yeah.
This thing goes 37 minutes and 6 seconds. And maybe 15 minutes in, I'm like, damn. All this hype, all this excitement for this match. Their last, the last Gargano match, 5 stars. Man, just kind of a quiet crowd. It's okay. It's not great. Then by the end, it was like, it's one of the best matches I ever saw.
This is beautiful.
And the finish with the knee braces we'll get to, unbelievable.
So, I think when this started, I was still on a high for the ladder match, which, like I say, was the best ladder match I ever saw. So, when this was done, I was like, this is really great, but I can't stop thinking about the ladder match. And then time kind of passed by. I slept on it, and the more I thought about it, I realized the ladder match was 6 dudes with ladders and went 31 minutes, you said?
31-24.
This was 2 dudes with a few gimmicks, but by and large, just doing a fight, and it went 37 minutes, and it was at least as good, which means really it was better, because they had more working against them. So, Tommaso Ciampa, the best heel in the company, period.
Oh my God, there's nobody even close. The one thing I will say is, I don't feel like people really hate Ciampa.
But they enjoy pretending they hate him?
But they suspend their disbelief.
They want to hate him during the match. Great!
Yes, it is the best babyface heel dynamic anywhere in professional wrestling.
They don't want
by
to
a country mile.
They don't want to slash his tires.
No.
They just want to boo him.
Yes. This is different from Roman Reigns where they would like to slash his tires.
They would, yes.
Yes, this is different. They hate everything about Roman Reigns, like what he represents.
Yeah.
But like the character Tommaso Ciampa is the most hated heel in this business. Johnny Gargano is the most beloved babyface.
That's for sure.
And so it is the best dynamic anywhere in the entire world. Babyface
really
heel.
it is. So Tommaso comes out. He does not want to be cheered. No music. He has a fancy robe, but he just comes out there and he gets in the ring. And he stands there in silence for like a minute, just standing there staring at people. And Johnny comes out and everyone loves him. And the bell rings and this fucking fight is on. We had a lot of stuff. It went 37 minutes. Of course they did a lot of stuff. They pulled back the pretty black mats and then left the cement exposed for probably literally 20 minutes. And then finally the spot that's onto it is Ciampa's on the apron and Gargano does the sunset flip out of the ring and Ciampa does he takes a power bomb. It's just a flat back bump off the apron about 4 feet down to the cement. I'm sure it didn't feel good, but there were way more insane things in the ladder match. The suplex off the announce table, which made Percy Watson scream, oh my God, may have actually been a worse bump. So we have that. The basic story, besides Tommaso being an evil dick and trying to kill him, and Johnny having to be just as big a dick to defend himself, is that there were a small number of weapon shots, and it was all built off of Tommaso's knee brace
Yes.
and crutches. Because Tommaso hurt his knee and was on crutches for a while and came back and has a giant brace. So Tommaso's having trouble putting Johnny away, and the fans are giving me a hard time, and they're outside, and he turns, and there's a fan on crutches, and Tommaso steals this guy's crutches. What an asshole.
Well, it's awesome because I was there live, obviously, and it was a very obvious plant. It's like he goes up to this guy, grabs his crutches, and then security just drags the dude to the back.
Yeah.
You're not needed anymore.
Yeah. Did I mention, by the way, that when Ciampa got powerbombed on the cement, the crowd responded with a chance of "you deserve it"?
Yes.
Because they hate him.
Yeah.
So crutches got used by both guys for a while. They're on their bellies and then their knees trading punches. We had Ciampa poking his head through the ropes, and Johnny swung this crutch and caught him right in the back of the head. Please don't do that, guys. They exposed the middle turnbuckle. T's going into that for a while. Johnny started selling like he'd lost a tooth.
I think he actually might have. I'm not positive, but
Quite possible. They kept teasing pile drivers, which would be funny in any event. It was hysterical on this weekend. Johnny hits a reverse Hurricane Rana, which I think it was fucked up, but looked better for it.
yeah.
Because like Ciampa was dead. So we had Gargano hook the Gargano escape, and as you mentioned the last show we did, Ciampa escaped just by digging his fingers deep into Johnny's eyeball.
Yeah.
It's because it's an unsanctioned match. Ciampa tore off his wrist tape. I actually thought there was going to be a blade in there. He just choked him with a tape, and then Johnny choked him back for a while. And trading punches, and Johnny was about to win that exchange when Ciampa just punts him in the balls and breaks the crutch over his back, and his Project Ciampa for a near fall. So the two other big spots, as I'm kind of going through this list of stuff here. Ciampa did it first, where he had Johnny down on his knees in the middle of the ring, then retreated to the corner and did all the DIY mannerisms, and he hit his running knee to the head, which is their finish. And Johnny kicked out of that, and then a few minutes passed, and Johnny makes his comeback and does the same thing, retreats to the corner, does his super kick for a near fall. So finally, in the process of all this, Ciampa removes his knee brace. Which is when it occurred to me, by the way, this, at least on TV, was his first match back after tearing his ACL.
That's right.
Yeah. So he removes his knee brace and then also pulls down the knee pad, because that was what he always did. He was going to hit you with his knee. And he's about to come charging out for the running knee of death. But in the process, Johnny grabs the knee brace and swings it and catches Ciampa in the knee.
That's right.
Ciampa's dead now. Johnny picks up the crutch. He takes it to the corner, stomps on it, bends it, makes it some sort of even more crude weapon than it was before. And he turns to swing this thing, and Ciampa cowers, and Johnny has mercy. His old friend is helpless. And for all the bullshit this motherfucker did to him, they were friends once. And somewhere in Johnny's heart, there's a little bit of humanity that won't let him kill his friend with this crutch. Ciampa's eye is swollen shut. He's down on the mat. He's helpless. He knows it. Mentally, spiritually, he is broken. He's not even defending himself. He's not asking for mercy. He's just sitting slumped on the mat. And Johnny doesn't know what to do. And finally, much like they did several times in their emotional moments, like when they met in the Cruiserweight Classic or when they won the tag titles, and they would just sit next to each other emotionally exhausted, Johnny goes to sit next to his old friend. But his old friend is a dick. And Ciampa grabs the crutch or the brace, whichever, and he swings it, but Gargano is ready for this. He ducks, hooks the Gargano escape. He's rearing back, but Ciampa still has a free arm, and Ciampa reaches out for that brace, but Johnny's too smart, and Johnny says, "Oh no, motherfucker, you're done." And he switches to an SDF. He grabs the brace, pulls the brace across Ciampa's face. Ciampa taps out immediately, and that's the end. Holy shit!
That was an awesome match.
That's fucking awesome.
Yep.
Jesus Christ.
I need to watch this one with the commentary.
Commentary was great. Have you watched the video of Morrow?
Oh, yeah. The video of Morrow from...
It's a video of Morrow doing commentary. He loses his goddamn mind.
Yeah.
And having watched the show, I can confirm he lost his goddamn mind.
This guy right there with the camera filming him from below the desk, and he stands up and he's just screaming his head off like a wild man.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this match was... and it was for the ladder match. Can't even imagine for this one.
The video ends at the spot where Ciampa gets thrown across the desk.
I see. So there's two videos in. Because the one I saw was him screaming about Adam Cole.
I think it's one long video. But anyway.
That's a long fucking video because that's two matches.
Well, it's the video is like a 5-minute highlight reel.
I see.
They may have chopped it up in a shorter version.
I see.
Point being, it's great, and Morrow was great, and this show was great, and if you have not watched it yet, what the hell is wrong with you? What's happening?
What the hell's going on over there?
Your phone? Oh, good, okay.
Holy smokes.
Phew!
It's like we got microphones in this room or something.
All right, now we have to talk about WrestleMania.
Yeah, let's get going. We got to keep moving here.
Okay, I didn't watch any of the pre-show.
Well, I'll tell you about it. Matt Hardy won the 30-man Battle Royal. The match sucked.
Shocking.
But when Bray Wyatt showed up and helped Matt Hardy win, the place went absolutely crazy. And a lot of people couldn't figure out what's going on. I don't know what's going on, but clearly Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt are together. Bray Wyatt's a babyface now. At least it's a fucking change.
Yeah.
They'll be doing tag team matches. Gigantic pop for that, so I gave it a thumbs up.
Okay.
Gave it a 5. I did not see Cedric Alexander versus Mustafa Ali. I only saw the last moment of it. And the Naomi Bailey thing Not a very good match, but what was notable about it was Bayley was cheered coming out. When Bayley supposedly won, the place went absolutely haywire for her. And I thought, fuck, after all this time, she's finally over. And then Naomi sneaks in and throws out Bayley, and they popped even bigger. That's when I realized this crowd just wants to have a good time. So this is going to work out here for a while. And it worked out for another 2 hours.
For a while, they did. So I watched this at my cousin's house, and we had it on the network on my laptop and watched it on the Chromecast on his TV. I don't know where the hiccups were, but throughout this show, we had things where it would skip back for a minute in time, and you watch for a minute, and then it would skip forward 2 minutes. So there were chunks of the show that I missed.
Didn't happen live.
That would be news.
Yeah.
Maybe Ronda can go back in time. So the matches that it most affected were Charlotte and Asuka. Which
Orlando Jordan was in that Battle Royal. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
It ruined Charlotte and Asuka, which I went back and watched later. That's the only thing I've gone back and watched. Everything else, it ruined the Bludgeon Brothers match, but I don't care.
There's nothing to ruin there.
Yeah. And everything else, I at least knew what was going on and could tell by the crowd reactions that I didn't need to watch most of it again. It did not ruin the Ronda match, so that's good. Show opened with Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, and Miz. I have been waiting years now for Finn Balor to be on WrestleMania and do the coolest demon entrance of all time. And he just comes out in his new shirt with his friends.
Yeah, he's not the demon anymore, I guess.
I guess the demon's
Can
gone.
you imagine?
So, I like this match. It was a very good opener. It was very choreographed. They had a dance.
Well, I don't want to be that guy, but it's my gimmick. The Miz took the match down. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Because Seth Rollins and Finn Balor had a match on Raw. It was way better than this match, okay? Mathematically, if Seth Rollins is an 8 and Finn Balor is an 8...
Miz is not an 8.
8 and 8 is 16 divided by 2, that's an 8.
Right.
Okay. So if Seth is an 8, Finn Balor is an 8, and The Miz is a 5, that's 21 divided by 3.
Yes.
That's 7.
You did it!
Exactly. So mathematically, when you add Miz to a match, it's not as good. Period.
Not this match, no.
Period.
No.
It wasn't bad.
It was a very good opener.
It was fine.
It would have been better without The Miz, and yeah. So, there was just a collection of cool moves. There's nothing else to it. And they're all on the same top rope. Miz hit Seth with an avalanche skull-crushing finale. But he made a cover. Finn hit him with a foot stomp. He made his own comeback, hit the coup de grace, but Seth hit him with a curb stomp, and then hit a curb stomp on Miz and pinned him to win.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins, new Intercontinental Champion, a very good opener.
It was a very good opener.
Yes.
It was a very good opener.
Charlotte versus Asuka. As mentioned, I had to go back and watch this again due to tech snafus.
This was also a very, very good match.
When I watched this live, I actually wrote down, I didn't see enough of this to give it a fair rating, but I can tell the crowd liked it and it peaked at the right time. That's all true. When I went back and watched it later and I sat back and watched it, this was a hell of a match.
Yeah.
Charlotte's entrance, the last time they were in New Orleans for Mania, 100 in an entrance with 3 Gladiator babes.
Yes.
And it was Sasha, Alexa, I think, and Charlotte.
Yeah.
So now Charlotte comes out as she's a star now, and she comes out with 3 Gladiator dudes.
Yep.
Which I think in one of the pictures they showed, it's Sabatelli and Moss and somebody else from NXT.
All I know is the entrance, however it looked on TV, it was even more awesome live.
The one thing you got to check out, especially Asuka's entrance, they would do things where the camera would do this panning shot as the wrestlers come out, and you see the whole stage.
Yeah.
But then they add in floating 3D video effects. So when Asuka came out on the screen, you saw giant masks all over the place.
We didn't get that live either.
No. It was really cool.
Yeah.
So this match was great. They had a competitive athletic championship contest. There was no hero or no villain, just 2 athletes striving for victory and glory and money. And towards the end, Charlotte was selling her arm the entire time and got thrown into the barricade and was bleeding from it. She was actually weeping even before the finish of the match. I understand WrestleMania is a very emotional time for their family. And I think, well, everything. Before the anniversary, roughly, of the death of her brother. Performing,
and Rick almost dying last year around this time.
Rick almost died this year about this time. Plus, at some point, I think she knew she's having a great match in front of 70,000 people at WrestleMania.
Or she was just selling that she was hurt. I mean, that's
or she's actually
part of it too.
Or she's actually been hurt and weeping.
Yeah. She wasn't hurt.
Yeah. So they hit all the big moves. Charlotte hits natural selection. Asuka catches her in a variety of wacky submission holds. And then Charlotte gets the figure eight, but she's selling her arm. She has to do a one-armed figure eight, clutching her weakened, broken, bleeding arm to her side, supporting herself with the other arm. And Asuka fights and fights. And much to my surprise, Asuka tapped out.
I was just like shocked. I was aghast. I pretty much figured out what's going on, I think, and that is that they were told before the match, no arm bars. Not allowed to do arm bars.
Ronda's move, yeah.
And obviously when Ronda first came in, Asuka was told, do the arm bar. Mm-hmm. So obviously the original plan was to do something with Asuka and Ronda, which I'm sure they're still going to do. But it appears to me the long-term plan is Charlotte versus Ronda at next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And the way they'll push it is, I'm sure Ronda will be undefeated. Charlotte will be the woman who ended Asuka's undefeated streak at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I'm sure in their minds, as Dave noted, they're thinking they may end next year's WrestleMania with a Ronda Rousey match. She may headline the show in the final match,
yeah,
which would obviously be history. First women's match ever to headline. And if that's the idea, then what match would WWE feel is easier to promote for the main event of WrestleMania? Ronda Rousey versus Asuka or Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte?
Yep.
You got a 24 you can do. You got all sorts of stuff you can do with Charlotte and Reed and Rick. All of the stuff that's always around that same time, WrestleMania weekend. They could do a huge story on that. They can build up the whole Charlotte beating Asuka thing. That, I believe, is where they're going. That's why they did the finish here. Charlotte ends one streak at this Mania. Then she goes to another streak at next year's WrestleMania. That's the story.
I would have zero problem with that being the main event, by the way.
I think that might be.
I would be fine with that.
Wait, you get a headline with Roman again?
I would not be fine with that. Rude versus Orton versus Mahal versus Rusev. They had a SmackDown 4-way.
8 minutes. It was fine.
Crowd loved Rusev, so of course he lost. Crowd hated Jinder, so of course he won. That's it.
There ain't much more to say.
Hunter and Stephanie versus Kurt and Ronda.
Best match on the show. Who would have ever thought?
I went into this, I won't say I had low expectations, but they certainly weren't sky high. And for about 5 minutes, it was exactly what I thought it would be. Stephanie would go harass Ronda and run away, so you'd want to see Ronda get in there and kill her. It would be Kurt and Angle doing all the work. And I thought of it, okay, we'll go 5 minutes here, 6 or 7, and Ronda will tag in and we'll go to the finish. Well, for 5 or 6 minutes, I was exactly right. It was Kurt and Hunter doing stuff. It was fine. I've seen both guys do a lot better. And then Ronda tagged in and I thought, okay, we done in 2 minutes. 20 minutes later, they had a great match.
A 20-minute match. The one thing about this match that I hated at the time, believe it or not, I can't even believe I'm saying this, I hate it less now.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That is when Ronda Rousey goes to armbar Stephanie McMahon and Stephanie counters the armbar.
McMahons are amazing, aren't they?
Okay, now listen. It's fucking stupid when you really think about it. But when Ronda Rousey's really fighting, she just like throws that armbar at anywhere. No matter where you are, she can throw on that armbar. The way she set it up here on Stephanie was she essentially mounted her, turned her sideways and sat there in the S-mount, held onto her arm and trash-talked her, let her know it was coming, okay? So, in real life, can't even believe I'm saying this, but in real life, if you're going to fight Ronda Rousey...
You're going to prep for the armbar.
You probably should prep for an armbar counter.
Scout that armbar, yeah.
Now listen, the idea that Stephanie could counter Ronda Rousey in a real fight, it's preposterous, but in the story here, Ronda sat there in that position and trash-talked her, let her know it was coming, and basically gave her the opening to attempt her counter.
She called her spot.
She called her spot! So, like, I still can't believe I'm not completely burying it, but the match was so good that I'm going to accept it. I'm going to suspend my disbelief that Stephanie had that one counter and Ronda gave her an opening for it. And that's why she was able to counter it that one time. Now, she did counter like 5 times,
yes,
which is like, come on now. But hey, this match was great, so whatever. Who cares?
Well,
I liked it.
As long as we're throwing out nitpicks, Ronda Rousey, UFC star, tags in, and the first thing she does in her first WWE match is to start running the ropes. Now, she looked fine. There's a lot worse rope runners out there. But they immediately made her just a wrestler.
Well, yeah.
So that's what they do.
But she's supposed to be just a wrestler.
Oh, that's also true. So we had Ronda up to the point where I thought was going to be the finish. Ronda hit Steph with an angle slam she just destroyed her. I've never seen an angle slam this vicious. But then Hunter pulls Steph out of the ring, and then Hunter pulls the ref out of the ring, and then we get the Hunter-Ronda confrontation. And, of course, the place is going crazy. And the ref tries to stop it, because it's not intergender, it's mixed tag, it's men versus men, women versus women. But Hunter just manhandles him to the corner and just lets him know, I am the boss. You stay here and stay out of the way. And then, of course, because Hunter's not an idiot, Ronda beat him up. And when she unloaded the boxing on him and he retreats to the corner and just tries to cover up and suddenly realizes he has no idea what he's gotten himself into or how to get out of it, glorious. It was fucking awesome. They start doing spots and she's doing Hurricane Ranas on him and putting the arm bar on him, and Steph breaks it up, and we got twin pedigree attempts and then twin submissions. And then Kurt and Ronda bucked into each other, and finally it was Ronda and Steph alone in the ring. And on the 8th try, I guess, Ronda finally got that armbar and got it and won, and Steph tapped out. Great. This was a great match.
It was
when
awesome.
I say a great match, I don't mean it was great for a mixed tag.
No, it was a great match.
It was not great for a match with Stephanie McMahon. It was not great for if you want to call it a celebrity match, or it was not great if you want to call it someone in their first match. This was a great pro wrestling match, period.
It was the best pro wrestling match in the whole show.
Yeah. Bludgeon Brothers, as noted.
Nothing to talk about. They won.
I don't think I actually outright...
5 minutes and 50 seconds.
I don't think I outright liked anything else in the show after this point. The Cena Undertaker thing.
Dude, it was fine.
It went like 20 minutes. It felt like 40.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they couldn't have just done... Cena comes out, Taker does his entrance, which is 10 minutes anyway, and then do a 3-minute match. I don't know what the point was of teasing this match might not happen several times. I don't know what the point was of throwing Elias in there.
Well, the point was they didn't want your expectations to be anything.
Well, the longer they delayed it, the more my expectations got.
Well,
so it backfired.
I'm sure it backfired.
I thought we're 20 minutes into this story here. This match better be fucking good. And then they had a match from a technical standpoint that was similar to, only not as good as a lot of the matches we watched on WCW Saturday Night.
Not only that, when this match was over, Undertaker beats him in 2 minutes 45 seconds, just squashed him. John got like one moment of heat.
He hit a suplex. That was his whole offense.
So when it was over, like, my first thought was, that's all they needed to do. Like, Undertaker's old. You gave these people...
The size of Taker's forehead in this match.
You gave these people a quick match, like, over and done with, we can move on. Like, it's fine, okay? It's all it needed to be. Then I went to the restroom, which of course was a big mistake because there's 9 million people standing in line. So I heard a lot in the next 5 hours as I waited to get to the urinal. But the point was, everybody hated this match. Mm-hmm. They didn't know why it happened. They thought it was embarrassing for Undertaker.
Yeah.
They were pissed off that it was so short. Like, whatever I thought when it was over, I was in the minority. This was an unliked match by the masses.
If you wanted to give Undertaker one last moment in the spotlight...
But you're not, because he's doing the greatest Royal Rumble.
Well, I guess that's true now. I won't even follow that thought. There's no point. Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I know you've talked about this 100 times by now. I've read your tweets, and I agree 100%.
Yeah. This was
waited
a complete...
3 years for Daniel Bryan to wrestle. We didn't need a tease he wouldn't wrestle at all, and they didn't need to wait 10 more minutes after that, especially when that 10 minutes was spent watching Shane.
Shane was so horrible in this match.
Jesus.
They injured Daniel Bryan.
As my notes here say, now the skipping stops for this match.
The fucking crowd, you've never seen a more dead crowd than this when Shane's in there selling. There's zero sympathy. Like, as soon as he started throwing punch, people are laughing. They're pissed off that Daniel Bryan isn't in there. And they killed the crowd so dead in the 10 minutes of this 15-minute match that, number one, yes, he got a pop when he made a comeback. But, like, this is Daniel Bryan's first big comeback in a match in 3 years. This reaction fucking sucked when you look at it that way. It was a babyface pop like any other random babyface on the show. And you know what? Even when the match was over, it took them all the way until Nicholas showed up for them to get back into the show. That's how much the first 10 minutes of this fucking match killed this crowd. It sucked. I don't ever need to see Shane McMahon in the ring again.
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan was great on SmackDown when he was in there with AJ Styles. Shocker, I know. Let the guy wrestle. He's fucking good. The stupid stretcher gimmick just fucking sucked.
Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax may have literally gone 10 times as long as it needed to.
It's 10 minutes, 15 seconds. I don't know why it wasn't a squash.
It was boring. God bless Nia. She's just not very good. And it went for a long time. There were boos when Nia made her comeback. She had an avalanche Samoan drop and won. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Like,
This was a 3-star match.
Yeah.
I mean, even if the crowd, like, take the crowd out of it, the crowd was dead.
Yeah.
As a match, it was a 3-star match. It was good. It was not great. It was nowhere near the best match on the show.
No. Do you
Crowd
remember
was-
we watched Okada? What's the last Okada match we watched? Osprey?
I don't know when the last one you watched was,
Yeah, I
but we
think it
did
was
watch that one.
My comment on that one was it was a 4-star match that felt like a 1-star. This was a 3-star that felt like a dud. It was a good match, but I was expecting so much more.
I see.
Yeah. So I was let down by this very good match.
Well, everybody had that feeling.
Well, there you go then.
I mean, they were super. Like when the bell rang to start the match, there were tons of dueling chants for like 2 straight minutes, and then they just didn't do anything.
They really didn't.
And yeah,
I got texts from my friends saying, "Why is this match so boring?"
yeah.
And I had to say, "Well, it's flat." I was trying to, for a while, I tried to go with, "Well, the crowd's tired," which is true, but anyway. So then it ends. AJ wins clean. It was a cool finish, the way he turned the Kinshasa into the Styles Clash. And then we did the post-match, and with Nakamura, and the whole thing was set up perfectly, because we didn't mention this, but Asuka loses to Charlotte, and then congratulates her. Charlotte was ready for Asuka, congratulations, and gives her a big hug. And here we have the challenger saying, gets down on a knee and presents AJ with his belt, and then just clubs him right in the balls. And he kicks his ass and kicks him out of the ring, hits the Kinshasa in the aisle. Why was the post-match so much better than the actual match?
Because they're setting up more. This was the beginning of the story. Like, I think part of it was it's WrestleMania, so it feels like this should be like the climax, like Nakamura wins, But no, this was the beginning of their story.
Yeah.
Beginning of the story is he loses, turns heel. They're going to have another match. He'll probably win the title. They'll have a series. Daniel Bryan will be involved. So, I mean, I know people hate this saying, but it was what it was.
That's true.
Let's see where it goes
That
from
is a
here.
fact. The Bar versus Braun Strowman and a mystery partner.
All you need to know about this is in any other era, this would have been a fucking disaster. A 9-year-old kid is one half of the tag team champions with Braun Strowman. But you know what? This fucking crowd ate this up.
That is true.
They loved it. They loved Nicholas. They loved Braun. They wanted Nicholas to come back during the main event. They chanted his name.
I do remember that.
Hey, I wouldn't have done this, but they did it and it worked.
Yeah.
So what the fuck do I know about it?
There's no point in me describing this. You all know what happened here by now. I don't know. I could tell I was working in the building more than anything in the last 3 or 4 matches had. It was 4+ hours into the show, and I'm watching Braun Strowman wade through the crowd trying to fan a tag team partner thing. What the fuck is happening? What have I done with my life?
Hey, I was waiting for him to find
Suzuki?
Okada, Suzuki, or Tanahashi.
War
who were
Machine,
all there.
anything.
This fucking guy finds a 9-year-old kid.
Yeah. And
Look harder.
And he brings it back in.
I even knew what section Suzuki was in. I could have helped him. I was tweeting him.
He didn't have his phone, unfortunately.
Fuck.
And they do the thing, and Nicholas tags in, and Cesaro scowls at him, and he tags back out, and Braun wins. I know the whole point is that Braun is such a big, scary giant, he can beat the tag team champions with literally anyone else as his tag team partner. It was so goofy, and I didn't want goofy 4+ hours into my show. But it was better.
Imagine 7 hours into the show.
It was better than this shitball main event.
All right, listen, we got about 7 minutes, so I'm just going to tie everything that we have left together. Okay? I just rewatched, as you did, Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg from the 2004 WrestleMania.
Yes.
The legendary match where the crowd turned on both guys.
Yes.
Am I wrong, Vinny? That had nothing on this match. Nothing.
It was a much better match with a much more polite crowd reaction.
Well, no.
Am I wording that wrong?
No, this is where you're really wrong. This is where you're actually wrong. The crowd reaction for this was significantly worse in New York. But
That's what I meant, yeah.
Yes, but one of the big differences is this was a good match that nobody gave a shit about. That Goldberg-Brock Lesnar match from Madison Square Garden was the fucking dirt worst piece of shit match you could have possibly had with these two. They did nothing. Do you understand me?
Oh, I know. I watched
They
it.
didn't do a fucking thing. So it's not like, obviously the fans were upset that they were both leaving, but hello, you didn't give them jack shit. Right?
That did happen.
These guys were beating the holy living fuck out of each other. Brock suplexing this fucking guy in his face. Like, he suplexed him on his face outside the ring on the mats.
That happened.
Bloodies a motherfucker up. They're pounding on each other. They're beating the shit out of each other. I swear to God, there was not a single person in the building that was watching this match for any length of time. There were so many beach balls in this crowd. Mm-hmm. They're throwing beach balls around. The cops are catching the beach balls. The cops and the fans are like... The fans boo the cops, but then the cops hold the balls up and the fans cheer. They're throwing their damn beach balls around. They're chanting, "You both suck. Bring back," whatever the fucking kid's name is.
This is awful was one of the
This is awful. You both suck.
70,000 people chanting that.
This was way worse than that New York match. Way worse reaction.
Way worse reaction.
Way better match.
So you're saying better match, worse reaction.
Yes.
Okay. Definitely a louder reaction. That part we can agree on. Yeah, it was two guys hitting each other really hard. Doing the same. Brock had suplexes, Roman had Superman punch, and that's all they did.
I mean, if you would have taken Roman out of this match and put Goldberg in, this place would have just eaten this match up. But it was Roman.
So, yeah.
And it was Brock who they're done with. So, the fans just didn't give a shit about anything. Get the fuck out of here, you two. Let us play with our beach balls. Go home, we hate you.
So this brings me to a conclusion of this show. Why this match left a particularly bad taste in my mouth, beyond being a disappointing match. What the fuck? It's been 3 years now with Roman.
4.
Whatever. Make him a star or don't. Have him win matches or don't. This is the same company where Bruno was champion for 7 years, I think.
Yeah.
Backlund effectively champion for 6. Hogan was champion for 3. Ultimate Warrior, his whole tenure, lost 2 matches, neither one clean. Austin, it was a different era. He lost more, but he didn't lose much. Roman gets in here, he just goes 50-50 for years, and they want him to be the top guy, but they won't make him the top guy. So fans hate him, and when he keeps losing, they just hate him more, and then he's in the main event anyway. It's a self-repeating, self-destructive cycle that's just going nowhere.
Yes, they have fucked this up for 4 years.
Abort! Pull the plug!
Vinny,
you fucked it up too bad.
Vinny, I thought the exact same thing. I may have given your same rant word for word, but I'm going to tell you what happened here. Okay? It ain't going to make you feel any better.
No.
But this is for everybody else, all right? This fucking Roman Reigns was supposed to come in and win this match and be the guy. But then Saudi Arabia was on the horizon. And the greatest Royal Rumble. All you need to know about how much money they're making from Saudi Arabia and how much potential money there is in Saudi Arabia is Brock Lesnar signed a short-term deal for more money than he's ever made before to go do one fucking match in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So the whole thing here is, fuck, we'll just hold it off one more month. Roman's going to go to Saudi Arabia. He's going to beat Brock in the cage. We're going to give the Saudis this big fucking match, and we're going to give them the greatest Royal Rumble. You ever thought about how stupid that name is?
It's pretty stupid.
Like, this is something they're doing for Saudi Arabia. Like, goddamn, we're going to give you the greatest Royal Rumble. You know that's what he said.
Oh, sure it is.
That's what it's fucking called. The greatest Royal Rumble. It's so stupid, but that's what he's given Saudi Arabia. He's given them the greatest Royal Rumble. Undertaker is having a match with Chris Jericho on that show. I mean, this very well may have been Undertaker's last match. Now he's on the show. Rey Mysterio's on the show. Chris Jericho's on the show.
Yes.
It's fucking Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar in a cage. All of this bullshit that we got so mad about was solely because in Vince McMahon's mind and in his fucking pocketbook, it's best for business if Roman wins in Saudi Arabia. And really, it's been 4 fucking years of failure. What the fuck's another month?
In that case, they should have done Ronda last.
They should have!
Okay.
Listen, you don't have to fucking tell me this, dude. You do not have to tell me this.
I really bad want to go to WrestleMania weekend next year, and I probably won't go to WrestleMania itself.
Well,
I don't have any faith in these companies.
hey, it might be Charlotte and Ronda.
If I would literally skip the first 5 hours.
But you know what?
I
If
would
they
show
would,
up 2 hours before the finish.
if they would have switched the Roman and Ronda matches, this probably would have been an unbelievably great show. Probably would have gone down in history as one of the great
the great
WrestleManias
stuff at
of
the
all
beginning,
time.
and that as a finish would have been pretty damn good.
Yep, but they fucked it up.
Which actually was the same thing happened last time in New Orleans. It was a great match at the beginning and a great match at the end.
That's right. So the only other thing to note is that as absolutely fucking horrible as Brock Lesnar and Goldberg in 2004 was, the rematch they had in 2017 when Goldberg was 50 fucking years old, hadn't wrestled in like a decade, that goddamn match was so great.
That is a perfect super heavyweight world championship match.
It's one of the greatest 5-minute matches I've ever seen in my life.
Absolutely.
It was unbelievable. God, I'm so glad Goldberg's in the Hall of Awesome.
Oh, for sure.
He should be in the Hall of Fame. I will, until the day I die, vote for Goldberg for the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. After going through his WCW run again, and then going through his WWE run here at the end, he's a fucking Hall of Famer. If you don't like it, I'll fight you. He's the man.
I'm not arguing. Are you threatening?
Of course you're not. He's in the Hall of Awesome. I'm not talking you. I'm talking anybody.
I see.
So there you go. That's a show. We are out of time.
Yeah.
We've hit our limit. Back here on Sunday with the NWA review, actually. And if you're in the area, Filthy and I will be at Defy Friday night in Seattle. Yep. I'll be cornering Filthy for his match.
I'll be in the crowd.
You'll be in the crowd, although we may get you to hold the banner at
That's
least.
true. I did that last time.
Yeah, you'll hold the banner.
I better dress nice.
If you want to meet us, come out to that show. It's going to be a lot of fun. Filthy's got shirts. It's going to be a great time. And that is it. We will talk to you again after a while.
Adios.